Hey everyone, Sheree here. Today I'm going to be doing a spread for my planner using some Kerri Bradford Studio stamps. I'm using my absolute favourite alphabet stamp, the Brooklyn XL stamp set. This is going to be for my title, which I'm thinking I'll put down the side of the page here. So I love those. I'm also using one or two stamps from each of these sets. So I've got the Hello Life stamp set, Gather Together, Away, and Home. And I do want to use these little house stamps down the bottom here. I think they'll be going at the top of the page there. So as I said, I'll be using one or two stamps from each of these sets. So this one is actually going to be titled Organising, and like many of you, you may have watched the Marie Kondo show on Netflix, and it really did spark a huge clean out in our house since the beginning of the year. I am still working on it. I've got most of the way through the house so far, but it just feels so much better, and the house just feels so much more organized and clean and clear, and I'm absolutely loving it. So I wanted to record how I'm feeling about that in my planner. So I do have all of the stamps chosen and out of their packs, ready to use. So I've just got all those on the side here. As I said, I think my title will go down that right hand side. I did already print out my journaling using my computer. There's a couple of ways you can do it. You can size your page in Photoshop to suit the size of your paper and then print it out, but I just did it in Word, and then I stuck this over the top so that I could space it out how I wanted it, just with a bit of washi, and then ran that through my printer to get it onto my grid paper here. All my photos are printed. They're each 2 by 2 inches in size, so I'm thinking they'll be arranged just like that with some stamping above and below, and then a little bit more stamping over here as well. I'm just keeping it really simple and letting the stamps be a feature of this spread. Okay, so I'll get into it and show you how this turns out. Okay, so I'm working on page 1 to begin with, and I'm just laying out the photos with the stamps that I want to put in place, just so that I can get the spacing right. I am going to start by stamping the little row of houses at the very top of the page. So I wanted to make sure I've got the spacing right before I do stamp those into place. So I'm just trying to center it as best I can. And now I'm just going to ink it up with some StazOn ink. That just happens to be the ink that was on my desk at the time. And I'm going to stamp it directly on to the top middle of that page. So that's turned out well. I'm just going to swap over and do the roof now. Of course, you could stamp the house with its roof all in one, but I do like to do them separately. And these would look really cute in different colors as well, but today I'm just going with black. So I'm doing the tall, skinny house to the left of that first one. Now adding the little roof to the top of that. And then there's the little square house that's going to the right. So that one's on there. Now I just need to do the roof. Okay. Alright, so they're done and looking very cute. So now I can put my photos back onto the page and work out what I want to do next. Alright, so I do have the phrase that says happening right now, and that's from the Gather Together stamp set. So I'm just going to stamp that onto some scrap paper. And while I'm at it, I'm going to do another couple of phrases as well. One that says little by little, and another one that says inexplicably happy. So the little by little is from the Hello Life stamp set, and inexplicably happy is from the Away stamp set. So I'm just going to cut those ones out, and then I can stick them down. Of course, I could have just stamped these directly onto the page, but I like to stamp on scrap paper and stick them on because it just adds layers to the page and a little bit of interest, and I like to add stitching to those as well, which you'll see me do a bit later. So I'm adding a stamp down the very bottom of the page that says yes, and that's from the Away stamp set. So I went directly onto the page for that one, and these other phrases I'm going to stick down with double-sided tape. So I can go ahead and start adding those on now that I've got everything laid out. So that one's going directly under the houses. Now I'm just going to add double-sided tape to the rest and stick those down, and I'll be back in a moment to show you how that looks. So there you go, you can see they're all on there now. I'm going to put that first page aside and move on to the second page. So I'm doing a large title that's going to go down the side of the page next to my journaling, but instead of going directly onto the page, I'm going to stamp it all onto some scrap white cardstock, as you can see I'm doing there. Making sure I've got lots of ink on those stamps so they're nice and solid. There's a closer look. So I've just done the whole word there and just cut it out. And now I've got two more phrases that I'm going to stamp up. One that says all the things, and another one that says you can find me. So the you can find me stamp comes from the away stamp set, and the all the things is from the home stamp set. So now I'm going to add those to this second page. I'm just using double-sided tape on the back of those pieces. So that one's going down the right hand side next to the journaling there, and then I'm going to add these other two pieces at the top and bottom of that word. So my title will read you can find me organising all the things, and yes, I really have been doing a lot of that lately. So now this just needs the date at the bottom, and then I'm going to add some stitching using my sewing machine. Now these pages will be going into my planner, and adding the stitching, of course, you can see it on the other side of the page. You can always fix that by covering it with pattern paper on the other side when you do the next project, or you can stick pages back to back as well using double-sided tape. So here's a close-up of the stitching is all now done, and it's ready to go into my planner. So please let me know if you've got any questions. Just pop a question down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I'll also leave a link to Kerri Bradford Studio down below for you, and I'll be back again soon with more to share. Thank you so much for joining me today. Bye for now.